Hi, everybody. Good afternoon. I hope you're doing well. And happy Wednesday. Happy Hump Day. Oh, yeah. I have a free 1 hour. So I decided I was going to come on here and take questions from you guys and have any chats that you guys want to have. How are you doing? I hope you're doing well. Where are you joining us from today? If this is the first time you're catching me live, welcome in. My name is Dr. Addy, and it's nice to meet you. How is your Wednesday going if you're in this part of the world? And if you are back home or in the UK or wherever the time has probably become around 8 o'clock or 7 o'clock right now, good evening to you. Hope you're doing well. Where are you joining us from? Kingston, Canada. Nice to meet you. Big Bizu. Thank you. Hope you're doing well. My London people, please send me some nice things from London. I can take some pound sterling. I don't mind. Saskatoon, those are my people. I'm from Saskatoon. Thank you, everybody, for joining. So this is just a chit-chat with Dr. Addy. I'm looking for people who have questions. Questions about your career, about EB2 and IW, about your admission process, any type of questions that you may have that is burning on your mind. Please drop those questions like it's hot. Let me help you treat them for the next 40 minutes. Whatever you want me to answer for you, I'll be happy to do that. Now, if you're one of those people who is wondering, okay, how do I advance my career? I'm looking to transition to a new career. I'm a new immigrant. I want to understand how to get a job without having to start from scratch. You know, I did a very good IG Live last night. I want to invite you to go back and watch that IG Live because there are gems that I dropped. I dropped gems as to what exactly is inhibiting people from getting jobs if they have relocated from Africa abroad. And how do you position yourself to make sure that nothing that is supposed to inhibit you can actually stop you? So if you are on a job hunt, please watch that last night's IG Live. I think it was really good. All right, I'm still waiting for questions. Questions. Any question that I can help you answer today? Career, admissions, relocation through employment-based national interest waiver. Please drop those questions and I'm happy to help you answer. If there are no questions, we can also gist. Any gist that is how his naira and dollars, we can start from there. How is naira and dollars treating you? Are you enjoying this exchange rate that is going up? Is it good for your pocket or it is not good for your pockets? Please. EB2 and IW, how long is the application typically? That's a very good question. EB2 and IW application process takes some time. Let me explain from putting your application together. So usually when I Sorry about the break. Somebody was calling me so impromptu. So I had to let them know. I'll call them back. So back to what I was explaining. EB2 and IW process, it takes some time to put the application together. You know, it's not filling a form situation. It's about argument. And it's about how much thing you can put together. So usually for you to put different things together, you yourself putting your documents together, if you have maybe a consultant working to you, a law firm, the whole process may take 2 months. From writing your petition to collecting recommendation letters from people who want to be your recommenders to getting your transcripts and everything sent to World Education Service so that they can give you the ECA. All of that could take about 2 months. Now, putting in the application, you can fast track the process, right? There are 2 methods. There is the general method, which is not expedited. For the general method, after you submit, you will expect it to them to reply you in 18 months. 18 months is what they say, maximum 18 months. Sometimes they reply in 6 months, sometimes they reply in 7 months, in 9 months, depending. But by 18 months, they will get back to you. So submission, from the day of the submission, you start to count the 18 months. Now, there is a fast-track product, the expedited process. The expedited process, by 4 months, they have to get back to you. So they can get back to you in 2 weeks, they can get back to you in 4 weeks. Imagine they can get back to you in 3 days. It can be that quick. Imagine submitting your application, you sleep 3 times, and then you already know if they give you American green card. Don't be juju with that, right? It can be that fast, but you have to pay $2,500 extra For that expedited process, you have to pay the government more money so that they can review your file fast. The maximum time is 4 months for that. So at least for this one, it's not like, if you're applying for Canadian Express Entry, you just sit in the pool, you don't know when they're going to talk to you, you don't know whether it's 2 years, whether it's tomorrow, you don't know. This one, there is deadline. If you pay for the expedited process, you have to hear back in 4 months maximum, and they usually get back to you within 2 months. If you are not paying the $2,500 for expedited, latest by 18 months, they'll have to get back to you. The average we've seen is 9 to 12 months, they get back to you. Now, after you've been approved, if you are outside the US, you now have to go to the US embassy in the country you are in. So if you are in the US, if you are in the UK, you will go to the US embassy in the UK, to the consulate office in the UK. If you are in Nigeria, you go and have an interview with the US consulate in Nigeria. Now, the issue is, for people in Nigeria, you know how hard it is to get the appointments. To get a US embassy appointment, some of those appointments is 2 years. Some of them is 1 year. Even my own mama, now 1 year, she stayed before she can get an appointment. It's 1 year. At least you will know that you are approved. You're already approved. You're just waiting to go for the appointment. If you are living in Canada, I believe within 4 to 6 months, you should get an appointment, depending on which office you are using with the U.S. consulate. Now, if you are able to get your appointment, whatever that period is pretty much your wait period, because that one is unpredictable. But you are hoping that you can keep checking. So, for example, when my mom applied for U.S. visa, they gave us a very long date. 3 months later, my husband went back to look at whether we can find a faster appointment. And we saw some openings that were better dates. So we moved my mom's appointment forward. We move it to better dates, faster dates, right? So I would say if you have been approved and you are trying to get faster dates, you just have to keep your eye and see whether there are faster dates. Even if they give you something far away, just keep checking. Somebody could cancel their appointment. Something could happen, and then you get moved forward. You have to move yourself forward there, though. But yeah, the whole application process for you to be approved in the US, 4 months or 18 months. For you to be approved outside of the US, that depends on the consular office where you are located. If you are located in places like the UK, if you are located like Canada, it shouldn't take you more than 6 months for you to have an appointment. If you are located in Nigeria, long term, it can take a year or more to get an appointment, but at least you're already approved. You are just waiting for that appointment. I hope that answered the question for the person who is asking for timing. So let's add all of that together. Yeah. Any other question? I'm currently just going through trying to see if anybody has dropped any question that I can help you answer. And I will be happy to do that. What type of questions am I taking today? Admissions, career, EB2NIW questions, whatever is on your mind that you want me to answer in that regard. What strategies or action can I take to increase my CRS score of 472 with a web designing NOC? What PMP can I consider, bearing in mind that I have no family blood relative? Thank you. Well, if you have not written French, go and write French. That's what I would say. Prepare for French. If your score is at 400 plus, 472, that means you are probably in your early 30s. Maybe you are 31 or thereabouts. And you have a master's. And I believe that, yes, language is hard, but anything you put your mind to, you can do. So in this case, what I would tell you is, maybe you have already exhausted the number of points you can get for education, number of points that you can get for even work experience. If you're in the express entry pool, you can write French. If you write French, definitely that number will jump up to 500 and something. Yes, you may think it takes time to be able to write French and all of that, but if you spend 4 months on French to practice and really be serious about it, I believe you could do it. Yes, so French, that's an option. Okay, you said what other province can you look at? You know that most of the provinces, you want to look at number of years of experience, it matters. So I don't know how many years of work experience you have to be able to say, maybe you should consider this particular province. But if you want to stay with your express entry federal pool, I would say adding French will be your option here to be able to boost that the score. I hope that helps. Any other question? I'm looking through to see if there are questions. Do you recommend any fully funded scholarships for masters in clinical psychology? For what country? For what country? Clinical psychology, I would tell you with my whole heart that anything psychology is a hard sell. And this is why I said it's a hard sell. When you finish a master's or a PhD in psychology, you cannot practice as a psychologist with a degree in psychology. You have to get a license. The process of getting licensing in psychology, it takes time. It could take 5 years, it could take a little less, depending on the type of degree you have. Then I usually ask myself, how much God do they want to pay the psychologist? How much is the salary of a psychologist that I have to be waiting 3 to 5 years to get the license for waiting? So it begs the question, instead of studying psychology, should I do public health? Because if I do public health, when I graduate, I don't need any licensing. I can go get a job. So the question to you is, why psychology? Have you thought it through? Do you understand what country are you trying to target? Because for me, it is just stressful to spend 3 to 5 years trying to get a license for something that will not pay me $500,000. Like, why? If it's a doctor, I'm trying to become a doctor. I know that when you're done as a doctor, minimum you make is $300K. So, okay, maybe that is fair. And you can make up to $1 million or over from being a doctor. So maybe that's fair. But if you're in another career path that I feel like, to be honest, you're not even going to get paid like that, and the stress want to kill somebody, then I'm questioning that. Do I recommend any fully funded scholarships? There are definitely different scholarships. I cannot tell you for a fact that this is one particular one. Any scholarship that works for everything, Chevening Scholarship, Commonwealth Scholarship, Erasmus Mundus, they will have for clinical psychology. Absolutely. If they can sponsor anybody, I believe they can sponsor clinical psychologists. And you may want to look at school and department-based scholarship as well. Depending on the country, depending on the school you are looking for, some schools actually have scholarships for different type of programs. So you just have to check, what do they have from this department? Also, there are professors who are researching and studying that. Those professors usually have scholarships, so you may want to look at that as well. All the best to our clinical psychologists. All right, Dr. Addy, can someone with 15 years experience in oil and gas, BSc in civil engineering, qualify for EB2 and IW? They could. And the reason why I always, when people say this person have this, the word could is a thing. Why do I say that? Because there are things that we have to look at for EB2 and IW application. Contributions is a big thing here. What contributions have you made? You have been working for that company. How big is your contribution? Is it on a national scale? Can we weigh your contribution? So when you have a consultation with me, that is what I'm looking at. What contributions do you have? So secondly, can I prove that you're a subject matter expert? And to be a subject matter expert, I'm looking at a few things. I'm looking, do you have a master's? Do you have some certifications? Do you belong to some professional associations? We have to evaluate and quantify the things you have done. That is what, whenever people come on a call with me, you bring everything you have. We quantify it. When we quantify it, then we can say, okay, we will fulfill this expectation, we will fulfill this requirement, and say, okay, yeah, this person should apply. 15 years plus BSc in civil engineering, yes, you belong to the category, one of the categories that they are looking for, yes. But we have to be able to quantify what you have and say this evidence is good enough. And this is why I tell people, if you can book a 1-hour session with me for EB2 and IW, if you go work with a lawyer, if you go work with a consultant, you have to book a session with them. It is absolutely non-negotiable because they have to check what you have and quantify it. This is not the one where you can say, why do I have to book a session? This one, you must book a clarity call. You have to book that EB2 and IW comprehensive consultation for us to quantify what you have. Looking at it from just bare looking at it, I can say, yes, you could qualify because civil engineering, it falls under one of the category, which is sustainable housing and infrastructure. It falls under that category. The U.S. want people in that category. Absolutely do want people. But we have to quantify what you have. I hope that makes sense. What can I get? What can I do to get QTS as I have submitted all my necessary? What is QTS? Molly! Grandma, Grandma. Sorry, everybody. Molly, he's talking to me from upstairs. Grandma, oh. Ọmọ yìí ti bọ́ síta ń bí o. Sorry, everybody. Hi, Momo. I'll come and see you. You see, my daughter was hearing my voice, so she came out of her place upstairs. I said, that is my mommy. That is my mom. That is my mommy. Hi, mommy. Sorry, guys. The owner of the mommy was saying hi to the mommy. Okay. Currently living in Cyprus, and I'm applying to UBC Canada, but there is no capturing centers here. Can I go to Turkey to capture for biometrics since I'm in the nearest country? I don't know. I honestly don't know, to be honest. I think that should be possible, but I don't want to give you information that I don't know. I don't know. Yeah. Please, what is the cost of EB2 NIW, including the immigration lawyer? Okay, the cost. So, for example, when we do it for you, we charge $10,000. We are in partnership with an immigration law firm. I do all the technical part of the work myself, and we'll give you a case manager. Then the law firm does the arguing of the case on the legal perspective. Because what we are presenting to the U.S. Immigration is not just legal case. It's about showing you as a technical expert. So everything you need to prove that you're a technical expert, I'm working with to say, this person, this is the value they bring to our country. These are the problems we have in this country today. This is how they would work here. This is what they bring. In terms of value, in terms of arguing the case, from a technical perspective, I do all of that. From the legal perspective, the law firm do all of that. They do all the legal arguments, citing the cases, showcasing everything, compliance, and submitting. We submit on your behalf. So that costs $10,000. I don't think anybody else will charge you anything less than that on the market. Nobody. Except if they don't know what they're doing. Now, apart from that, what other costs are there? There are other costs. $700 for high 144. $700. If you are doing expedited one, $2,500 you will pay. When they've now approved you, you now want to go to the U.S. consulate in that country. Whatever they are charging there, you would pay. Maybe $350 for their own application for you want to come as the immigration consulate, the immigration person, the U.S. consulate. $350 also. You will do biometrics, $80 or thereabout, depending on the country. Medicals can go from $200 to $500. You will pay. Now, for your I-485, which is what converts you to the U.S. permanent residency status, you also pay for that. That is high. That could be, rates are changing every day. That is from $1,200 to $1,600, depending whether you are the principal applicant or a dependent. If you're a principal applicant, you pay. Each dependent, they also pay. Each person pays minimum of $1,200 to $1,600, depending on whether you're a principal applicant or you're a dependent. So if you are planning for this whole process, I always tell my clients, have $20,000. Because if you have children, because let's say you have 2 children, you are a wife, your husband is coming, that's 4 of you. For the $1,200 to $1,600, that is times 4 that you need for that. Consular appointment, each person, you will do medicals for each person, biometrics for each person. So that's about $20,000 that I would say that you need. But how I always argue this to people, right, is this. You are getting American green card. If you come to school in America, for sure you will spend $20,000. You still will not have green card when you're done. If you go to Canada for school, for sure you will spend $20,000. You still don't have PR yet. If you go to the UK, you spend maybe £15,000 just for school fees. You still don't have the visa yet. You still don't have the indefinite stay yet. So you have to look at it from, okay, what is the value of what I'm getting? If I stay in my own country, I didn't move an inch. And everything I have worked for my entire life, which is I have a master's, I did all of this work, they gave me an award, all of that. Now he's speaking for me to get an American green card without leaving my own country. I think that's a good bargain. It's a good bargain than let me go through school. I'll go through school. When I get there, I'll now do a 1-year school, a 2-year school. When I now finish, I'll now be looking for a job. I'll now get a job. The job will now give me H-1B, and I will now hopefully convert in 5 years to green card. Alpha. Same with Canada. I'll go to school. When I'm done, I will now get my OPT. When I'm now done with my postgraduate work permit. Now, this postgraduate work permit, I will now get a job. I will now get my permanent residency a few years later. Okay, this one, you get your permanent residency from your own country. I hope that makes sense to you. Yes, everything costs money. Everything. But it's the world we live in. I wish that we don't have to move out of Nigeria. I wish that we will stay in Nigeria, enjoy the good weather, be eating pepper soup every day, have my mom taking care of my daughter back home in our house. My daughter can play with my siblings, everybody there. That's what we wish. We didn't have that luxury. Me and you, we didn't. So we're trying to go to other places. All right. I'm reading more questions. BSc Sociology, and I've worked for over 20 years as a correctional officer, director of diploma in disaster management and public health level 2. What is the chance if you're working in public health, if what you are doing is public health, I think you may, just the same way I tell everybody, you may qualify because we have to quantify everything you have. You may, because I haven't seen your CV. I don't know your achievements. Have you won any award? How big is the work you have done? Is it on a national level? I don't have answer to that. But based on what you put in front of me, BSc with 20 years experience in public health, you may qualify. How achievable is it to obtain PR with a 1-year course in Canada, since you can only get a 1-year postgraduate work permit? Is it a risky venture? It depends. Right, it depends first on where you are going. There are some provinces today, you have to have strategy. When you are going abroad, it's brain that we are selling brain in this abroad. Let me calculate for you. Let me calculate for you. If you're going to do a 1-year postgraduate program in Canada, first, where are you going? There are some provinces, so like New Brunswick. If you go to New Brunswick, you do a 1-year program. When you're done with a 1-year program, New Brunswick said, if you stay here for 6 months, after 6 months, we will give you your papers. We will give you PR. New Brunswick said that. So if you are going to do a 1-year program, 1-year postgraduate program, I'll say, okay, your first option is go to New Brunswick. Number 2, recently Ontario, the news that we saw last week, they said they want to do something about people who are doing postgraduate program, so that they can create a PR stream for you. They have not executed it. It's not a law yet. Well, Ontario is considering that people who are doing 1-year program or doing anything postgraduate that is not masters, that they want to create a stream for them. It has not been executed, but they said it's in the works. That is Ontario. Now, if you do a 1-year program, what I usually tell them is the day you arrive in Canada, you should book a 1-hour session with me. Why? We need to plan what career paths are you going to get a job in when you're done. So that while you're going to school, every skill set you need, every portfolio you need, everything you need, you will work on it for the next 6 months. You will have a roadmap after that 1-hour program. The next 6 months, doctor said I should do this. This is the job I will get when I'm done. Yes. And these are the skill sets required. This is the certification if there is any. Let me go and learn it. While I'm going to school, let me be learning that on the side. By 6 months, I expect that you have collected all of that. The remaining 6 months, we are arranging your resume. You are applying for a job before you graduate. If you spend 3 months after you learn all of those things, we put together the type of resume that I Kokin Bati. You know, in Yoruba, they said this one is straight shot. It hits the target, period. You know, when you know your stuff, Yoruba will say, if you know your stuff, you will brag about it. Only tí ògùn ẹni bá dání lórí, a máa fi ń gbárí ni. Tí ògùn ẹni bá dání lójú, a fi gbárí. You know, if you follow that strategy, that 1 year program, when you are dropping a pen, there'll be a job waiting for you. Because you have to have a strategy. You can't come to Canada, you come to do a 1 year program, you don't know what job you're going to get when you're done. You don't even know what is required for that job. You don't know the market enough to say, this is how I will position. Then you finish a 1 year program, now you have a 1 year post-study work permit, you have to get a job. I believe that if you plan it from the beginning with me or a good career coach, there's a very good plan for you. By the time you're dropping that paper, you will have a job waiting for you. There are some provinces in Canada, if you get a job offer, you get a PR. You can apply. Job offer is the requirement if you can get a job offer. Several of those provinces in Canada is job offer, right? So if you go to school, your aim should not just be, I'm going to school. Your aim should be, as I'm going to school like this, what do I need so that when I'm done, a job offer is in my hand? Because that is what I need to get my PR. And if you get that job offer, you're good. You don't need a 2nd year program. You don't. Or if you don't plan well from the beginning, you are coming to meet me when you are graduating in 2 days and say, Dr. Addy, I'm graduating in 2 days, I need a job. Okay, now we unearth things that you need. We realize everything that is needed, you don't know anything. So the next 4 months, you have to be learning skills because you have 0 skills. Now you will learn those skills. We'll now put a resume together. We'll now spend the next 2 months looking for a job. That means 6 months out of that 1 year is gone on us making sure that you are ready for the market. Market readiness is very critical. If you are not ready for the market, if you approach the market, you will not hear back, or be getting 16 rejection in the morning when you wake up. Because the market readiness is 0. And this is what I talked about yesterday. People would apply for job, and when you see their resume, they themselves cannot hire themselves. If you can ask yourself, can I hire me? The answer is no. You can't hire you because your resume is not ready for that market, and you know. So if they're not giving you a job and you say it's racism, deep down inside you, you know it's not racism. You know that how you presented yourself wasn't good enough. And I'm telling every student, whether you're in the UK, you're in the US, you're in Canada, as you are going to school, you have to be working on your market readiness. If you don't work on your market readiness, and then you finish school, and you're not ready for that market, and you approach that market, you'll be getting rejection like pure water. I want to understand my market readiness. We have a boot camp coming up in December. Apply to that boot camp. Come to the boot camp. Let's work with you for you to have your market readiness while you are still in school, so that everything that is needed for that job, first of all, what job are you going to find? Let's be clear. Secondly, what is needed for it? How do you position? What is needed? So you can evaluate yourself. How many of what is needed do I have? Do I even have 1/5 of what the market need? And the sad thing is most Africans don't have these things, especially the ones coming from back home. Why? We don't use any technology back home like that. There are no serious softwares that we use. We use Excel for everything and Microsoft Word. And in this part of the world, everything, there's a software that is specifically for it. Or you're coming from back home, you're a generalist. In this part of the world, the people that get paid are the specialists, not the generalists. So first, maybe we have to convert your career to a specialist career so that you can have better value. And pick a career path that is in high demand that you can do. So definitely market readiness. Yes, if you're coming for a 1 year program, you have to be market ready. While you're in school, we need to be working on your market readiness so that by the time you are done, there's a job in your hand. Now, worst case scenario, you are now finishing that program, you don't have market readiness, you're now thinking, what do I do? You can apply for a year 2 program. Apply for a year 2 program, which is very common, but it's another money, another $18,000, another $16,000, another $13,000. Why? Because you refuse to understand the market. Oh, I don't want to pay Dr. Addy $20, but you pay the university $18,000 and spend 1 year in that school, extra year, for something that you could have learned at the boot camp for $200 over a 2-day period. Now you go and spend another 1 year and pay another $18,000 because you need a year 2 program that could have been completely avoided. So like I said, it's not necessary. We just can't be penny wise, pound foolish. I'm going to school. The school is too hard. Oh, why would she charge $200 for a boot camp? Because that is what you need to avoid paying $18,000. Yes, to avoid spending another 1 year. That's what you need to learn about your market readiness. Yes, the boot camp, we are advertising it tomorrow, but it's already available. If you slide into our DM, they will give you the link. You register, you make sure the dates you're available. The 2 days you get your baptism. Okay. What country is best for tax administrator with over 10 years experience? Tax administrator, what country is best for you? There is no country that is not best for you. You just have to be ready to get the right licenses, the right certifications, to be able to do your work. You can't come with no understanding of Nigerian law and having high can and say, I want to practice in America. The tax people here, they are CPA. So you need to get the right license, the right certification for America. Same thing with Canada. The tax people in Canada, they are CPA. In the UK, they have ACCA. So as a tax person, be ready to get the right licenses, the right certifications, and then we need to be able to translate your work experience to the new market that you're in. We need to help you speak the language of the new market. We need to help you uncover what are the things for this market that are crucial. And then everything that you have done before is not a waste. Then you can just translate it into it and start to use it. I hope that makes sense. Any of those countries can pay off for you, but we just need to understand, what does this new market looks like? What do they need? Get your license, but there is more to taxes than just licensing. There are softwares, there are laws, there are rules, regulations, and this is what skill mapping uncovers. When I run a skill map for you, it uncovers all of that. Then you can have an understanding of, these are the things I need if I need to use the skill set that I'm bringing from another country. This is how it works here. You know, most times when I see people struggling to find a job, sometimes it's lack of communication. What do I mean? Yesterday I cited this example. In Nigeria, you know the back of a car, or we call it boot. Bamishi boot here, the boot of a car. In America, we call it trunk. Trunk. It's the same thing. This one call it boot, this one call it trunk. If you're talking to an American and you say, open the boot for me, they don't understand. Same way with your career. What is on your resume, which is the important thing, the content, if the content is not interpreted in such a way that somebody in that new country understands exactly what you mean, your resume is going to read like French. It will never sell you well. And that is the same thing with taxes. Tax laws are not the same in all countries. Regulations, softwares, procedures, they are not the same. So you need to know, for the new country, what is their tax law like? What are the regulations? What are their needs? Then because you understand taxes, once you can now understand that, everything you know before you can apply. You can apply. Dr. Addy, can you put us through application for PR? I did this 3 years ago. It's on my YouTube channel. Maybe I can do another Instagram live for that, but I try not to do anything PR too much because there are immigration consultants. You know, we come on this live, it's free. They are charging for it. If you go on my YouTube channel, you will find a video on step-by-step for PR application. It's there. I have a degree in health education and 3 years experience as a healthcare assistant coming to Ontario through PMP. Which course will you recommend me to apply for my master's program? You are coming through PMP. Why do you want to go back to school? Aren't you supposed to go and be working? Why do you want to go back to school, madam? You are already coming with your permanent residency. Is there a reason why you want to go back to school? When you come from another country, go and get a job. If you are coming through permanent residency, go and get a job. Things are not cheap. Why should you go back to school? We should be arranging, how can I get a job with what I have? Not, can I go to school? For what? Why? In this economy, you want to be going to school, you better go and find work. Please expatiate more on in between the total cost processing time and success rate. Yeah, the success rate is actually very good for Nigerians. We are, I think, number 4 on the list of the people they approve the most. We are smart people. The people they approve the most, I think we are number 4 for this. Every quarter they release a list. I think we are number 4 on the list. Approval rate for Nigeria is high. For me, I've never had any rejection. None of my clients has had any rejection. So the success rate is very good for Nigerians. And that is why when you want to work with us, if I look at your profile and I feel like you don't qualify or you are not, the chance is low, we don't start it. We tell you that it's not going to work. Because there are other pathways to travel abroad. If it's not looking good or it looks like he has K-leg, no, we'll let you know and say, let's find another way for you. There is Canada. Should we look for Canada for you? There is school. Should we look for school for you? We'll find another way. If it looks like this is sure, this will work out, then we'll give it a try. But Nigeria has very good approval rating. Thank you for helping on my MSc psychology. Thank you. All right. Please, what is the total for, including, I think I've explained that. Dr. Addy, what immigration pathway do you recommend for a pharmacist with 10 years of work experience? Canada, Magbayo. Pharmacy 10 years experience. What's your age? Please don't tell me on broad daylight your age. But if your age is very reasonable, I think Canada, they love their healthcare people. The score for healthcare has dropped very well. Yeah. The score for healthcare is in like 450 something or so right now. So, madam, do we want to look at Canada? Please, Pico, enter that express entry pool. If you are not up to, if you are in your early 30s, I think that will work for you. Canada express entry. They are taking their medical people. We want them. I have a master's and 10 years of work experience. Master's in what? Work experience in what? Doctor, I'm a chartered accountant. I can. Which masters can you recommend for me? A couple. Chartered accountant. Masters. We can do masters in finance. Can do masters in data analytics, predictive analytics, AI. Just do fancy masters, my brother. I'll be my sister. Fancy masters with data transformation all over it. Financial analytics, data analytics. Finance is very, Don't do MBA. If you stay in your finance lane, I think it's fine. Add some analytics to it. You can falsify it like that. Is it possible to apply for work visa? For which country? It's possible for all of the countries. America, they have H-1B. Canada, they do have a work visa, LMIA, designated employers. So yes, it's possible. Suggest a career development course or skills for someone with a first degree in economics or statistics with 15 years experience in the banking sector. Statistics, economics, data analytics, predictive analytics, data science, AI, machine learning. The list is stay in the big data area. Big data area is good for you. Big data area is good for you. Stay in the big data area. Currently living in Cyprus. Yeah, I think I've gone through that. Guys, I have another client coming in 4 minutes. I hope that I was able to answer some of your questions. How can I get a certificate in PhD? What do you mean? What do you mean? You go to school, you do 4 years, 3 to 4 years of bang, bang, bang. That 1 year every day, you are sleeping in the lab like I did. And then you get a PhD. Yeah. My husband applied for EB2NIW 6 months ago. And it hasn't heard back. 6 months. Yeah, if he did the general one, It's 18 months that is the length. So if he hasn't heard back, hopefully they answer him before 18 months. We are seeing that they answer people at 9 months, 10 months, 6 months sometimes. So we wait. Can a third class be accepted in Canada? Yes. For postgraduate diploma, for postgraduate certificate program, yes. Yes, a third class can be accepted. For a master's, no. Please, I just want to ask some questions. Currently, I work in the UK as paramedic and my wife as a nurse. Is there any? Your wife can come to the US with your family. She should write NCLEX exam. As a nurse, if she writes NCLEX, if she passes NCLEX, there are several agencies in the US that can give her a job in America and file green card for her and her entire family. Can you tell your wife to go and look into NCLEX and see if she qualifies for it and apply and read? You are in the UK. She doesn't have to travel anywhere to do the NCLEX. She can write it right there in the US. In the UK. Let her read and go and pass NCLEX. You and your entire family, find an agency. There are plenty. They will pay at least $50 per hour. Some agencies are paying $100 per hour, and they file papers for you, green card, including the family. You sign maybe a 2 to 3 year contract with them, and you move to the US. You definitely can move to the US. Your wife is your passport to US. Okay? Yes. What the hell? How can I book a session with you? Please slide into our DM. It costs $250. You can have a 1 hour session with me. We brainstorm to make sure that 2023 is ending well for you and there's a good plan for 2024. Laser focus. You know, I love coming on here because I know one thing. My audience honor me. My audience honor me. They will be here. They will show up. They will listen to me. They will stay here. Whether I'm cracking jokes, whether I'm sharing wisdom, they're here with me. May God honor you in all you do. May God honor you. May God honor you. The way you honor me, the way you honor my words, it is inspiring for me. It keeps me on my toes. It keeps me reading, looking for information, trying to deliver to the best of my ability. May God honor you. Wherever you go, may people honor you. Thank you. Thank you for always honoring me with your presence. The people who needs the boot camp has launched. Go into the DM. If you need to get us on a clarity call and a 1 hour HB2NIW consultation, please do that. Let's have a session together so that we can put together a roadmap for your HB2NIW application for you. And I really hope that this works out for you. Don't forget, you can do this HB2NIW yourself. You just need a roadmap on. If you want to do it yourself, that is also an option. Just know that I want to help you make sure that every dream you have can be achieved. Again, thank you for honoring me with your presence. I will definitely share this video for anyone who wants to listen to it after. If you have people that you think maybe they qualify for this or that, please send this to them. We talked about Canada, we talked about the US. They can find something that will work for them. Thank you again for your time. Enjoy the rest of your day. Have a good evening, everybody. God bless you. Bye now. Bye, everybody.